Coming up on a special edition of the Raptor Report, we'll take a look back at the year in sports at Montgomery College. It was MC's first year as the Raptors, the first year of the unified one-college athletics program, and oh, what a year it was. 4 MC teams made national championship runs. 1 Raptors team won their first ever Maryland JUCO title. 3 MC teams claimed regional titles, and 1 took home a district championship. And all the while, MC athletes earned numerous individual honors. It was a memorable year for Montgomery College sports, and we're counting down the top 10 moments on a special edition of the Raptor Report, starting now. Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Raptor Report. I'm Michael Brown. On today's show, we're taking a look back at the top 10 moments of the 2012-2013 sports year at Montgomery College. Now, MC has a storied athletics history with over 70 athletes inducted into its Athletic Hall of Fame and 5 national championships. But after years of fielding teams at each of the 3 campuses, this was the first year that MC fielded teams as one college. No more Rockville teams, no more Germantown teams, no more Tacoma Park Silver Spring teams, just Montgomery College teams. It was a year of big changes. It was the first season wearing Raptors purple, and what a year it was. So let's get right into it.
Number 10.
We start our countdown with women's softball earning the top seed in the Region 20 tournament. After years in the doldrums, MC softball emerged as one of the surprises of the 2012-2013 school year. First-year head coach Mike Smigaki helped revitalize the program, posting the team's first winning record in years. The team finished with a 16-12 record for the regular season and came in 5th in a 13-team Maryland JUCO conference dominated by D1 and D2 schools. Their finish earned them a number 1 seed in the NJCAA Division III Region 20 tournament, a remarkable accomplishment for a team coming off a 4-23 season in 2012. In the Region 20 tournament, MC took the opener of the double elimination tournament 10-2 over Westmoreland County Community College and beat defending champ Anne Arundel in the second round 8-7 behind a complete game from Caitlin Cahill and the offense of Julie Hance. Hance had a home run, a double, and 4 RBIs. That win meant MC came into the final day of the tournament just 1 victory shy of a berth in the national championships. And because of how the other games played out, standing in their way once again was Anne Arundel. The double elimination tournament format meant that MC needed just 1 win to head to nationals, while Anne Arundel had to knock off the Raptors twice to advance. Arundel took game 1 6-2, setting up a do-or-die final game for both teams. Arundel jumped out to an early lead, but MC fought back from a 3-run deficit to tie it in the 5th. But a well-placed Arundel line drive in the 6th broke the tie, and MC lost a heartbreaker 4-3, and with it, a trip to nationals. But that tough loss doesn't diminish what this team accomplished this year.
Go, go.
Number 9.
The women's volleyball team finishes 3rd in the state. Head coach Amir Mafinejad has developed a consistently strong program since he took over a few years ago. And this past season was no letdown as they posted a 3rd-place finish in Maryland JUCO and a 15-5 record overall. They were fun to watch as Dejana Cobbs led the team and was perhaps the most exciting player in the state. Her kills, blocks, court awareness, leadership, and enthusiasm for the game propelled her team all season long and earned her first team All-Maryland JUCO honors. And she had plenty of help from fellow sophomores Kelly Stock and Susanna Munoz. The future looks bright as Mafinejad developed a trio of players who will be back for this coming season: Andrea Falcon, Emily Scott, and Yesenia Mora.
Number 8.
Number 8 on the list is a bittersweet one. April 23rd was Duck Lee Day on the Germantown campus, honoring longtime MC volunteer assistant coach Duck Lee, who passed away on January 19th. The Raptors hosted the Hawks from Hagerstown Community College and celebrated Duck's life with a pregame ceremony. Duck, who'd served as the Raptors pitching coach, was honored with his name on the pitching mound, and during the ceremony, the entire team wore shirts with Duck's name and number. A banner honoring Duck was unveiled, which will hang near Duck's favorite spot at the Germantown field. And assistant coach Justin Keebefore delivered an emotional tribute to his friend and colleague.
Duck believed that baseball was a way of life. He often said that he was blessed because of the relationships he had made through baseball. He felt that baseball provides opportunities for all types of people. However, there was only one qualification that he demanded: respect for the game.
Duck's sister and two daughters were on hand for the ceremonial first pitch. The game itself, it turned out to be exactly the kind of game that Duck would have loved. Close, well played, tense, a pitcher's duel. Hagerstown took an early lead, but MC tied it up in the seventh when Nick Ponifala drove in Greg Turlick. Hagerstown scored 2 in the ninth to take a 3-1 lead. MC entered the bottom of the ninth, trailing by 2 and facing the top closer in Maryland JUCO, Hagerstown's Dylan Eiler. But Eiler couldn't find the plate and walked in the tying runs to send the game into extra innings. Neither team put up much offense until the bottom of the 14th, when 2 Hagerstown errors and a sacrifice bunt moved Joe Coleman to third, with Greg Turlick coming to the plate.
Nice play by Walter, race to the bag, and he's safe. The ball game is over as Greg Turlick dives into first base to beat the throw, and Montgomery College has won it here in the bottom of the 14th inning, 4-3.
And it was just the type of hustle play Duck would have loved. And that's the way this team played all year. All out and all for Duck.
Number 7.
After defending their title in the Region 20 tourney with a dominant 82-49 win over CCAC Boyce in the Region Championship, Coach G's Raptors advanced to the NJCAA District G Championship. MC hosted the Middle Georgia Technical College Titans, a team that had pulled off 2 upset wins to grab the Region 17 title. MC grabbed the early lead and held it throughout the first 20 minutes, but Middle Georgia hung tough and trailed by just 10 at the half. But it was a different Raptors team in the second half. They turned up the intensity at both ends of the court, started pounding the ball inside to Jocelyn Martin, snagged steal after steal, and ran at every opportunity. They quickly built on their halftime lead, never looked back, and just blew the doors off the Titans. It was all MC for the entire second half, and in the end, it was the Raptors cutting down the nets as they claimed the District G Championship with a 72-36 win over the Titans.
Number 6.
Dan Rasher's Raptors entered the NJCAA Region 20 tournament this year, having won the title 6 of the last 7 years. MC shut out CCAC South in the first round 15-0 and beat PG in the second round on a walk-off bases-loaded single by Nick Kuzarski. That win guaranteed MC a spot in the championship game. And PG's win over Westmoreland set up a rematch between MC and PG in the championship game. PG was playing for survival. It's a double elimination tournament, and they already had 1 loss. MC only had to win 1 to claim the crown, and they hoped they could get things done in 1 game. Jack Souter took the mound for the Raptors, matching up against Andrew Bird for PG, and both put up nothing but zeros until the top of the 5th, when PG scored 2 runs on a wild pitch and a fielder's choice groundout. MC finally broke through in a big way in the bottom of the sixth. They loaded the bases on hits by Sam Stefanelli and Travis Smith and a walk to Coleman. Kuzarski was hit by a pitch, scoring 1. Bird's throwing error plated 2 more. Then Sam Stefanelli came to the plate for the second time in the inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
And there is a line drive to center, and it gets in there. 1 run scores. Here comes Taylor, he scores. Here comes Siegel, he scores. And that is a 3-run triple for Sam Stefanelli.
Stefanelli's triple cleared the bases, and suddenly the Raptors were up 7-2 after 6. MC loaded the bases in the 8th and scored 2 on an error by PG shortstop Shahrukh Ali off a Travis Smith grounder, and added another on a Joe Coleman RBI single. Jamison McGrain came into the game in the 7th in relief of Jack Sauter and was on the mound with 2 outs in the 9th, facing PG's Michael Carolina.
And there is strike 3, and that is the end of the ball game as Jamison McGrain and Colin McMahon embrace. Here comes the team out onto the field to celebrate. Montgomery College has taken the Region 20 championship with a 10-2 win over the Prince George's Community College Owls.
Number 5.
This spring, week after week, meet after meet, track and field athletes established personal bests and achieved the marks necessary to qualify for the national championships. MC ended up qualifying athletes in more than 22 events for the national championship meet, hosted by nearby Howard Community College. And they turned in some strong results. Just to name a few, for the women, Jamila Thali finished 4th in the nation in javelin, setting a personal best of 31.31 meters while also breaking the school record she'd set earlier in the season. She also ran on the women's 4x100 relay team with Jackie Moffo, Peace Kish, and Cecilia Solano that came in 5th in the country. And Thali was also on the 4x400 relay team, along with Solano, Bunmi Iodeli, and Capria Redparth that finished 4th in the nation while setting a new school record in the process. On the men's side, the 4x800 meter relay team of Andrew Russo, Charles Acevedo, DeCourcy Gascon, and Daniel Abdul came in 4th in the nation. So when the nationals were all said and done, both the men's and women's teams finished 15th overall in the country, capping off another excellent season for MC Track and Field.
Number 4.
After starting the season 2-2-1, first-year head coach Pedro Braz's Raptors men's soccer team soon got on a roll and at one point won 12 straight. 8 of those wins, shutouts. This historic run helped the Raptors enter the Region 20 tournament as the favorites. And in the regionals, they never took their foot off the gas as they opened the tournament with an unbelievable 11-0 shellacking of Northern Virginia, kept it rolling in round 2 with a 4-0 shutout of rival Howard, and then took the Region 20 crown 1-0 over Potomac State on this goal by Mohamed Olari. So that was 3 Region 20 matches, 3 shutout wins, a championship, and a trip to nationals, becoming the first MC men's soccer team to advance to the nationals since 1988.
Number 3.
Dan Rasher's Raptors baseball team earned yet another trip to the NJCAA World Series this year, one of a field of 8 teams. While they didn't bring home the title this year, their stay in Texas had its share of highlights. In Game 1 versus Niagara, MC right fielder Greg Turlick made this diving grab to save a run in the top of the 4th. And an inning later, center fielder Ian Velez made what were arguably the 2 best plays of the World Series, when he threw out runners at the plate on back-to-back plays, with catcher Miles Leader playing some incredible D blocking the plate. Despite a Greg Turlick triple, which set up an MC run, and a towering home run by MC's Jake Taylor, the Raptors found themselves in the loss column, with Niagara taking Game 1 15-7. MC's bats never warmed up in Game 2, and they found themselves eliminated after a 5-2 loss to Century College. A great year nonetheless. The Raptors finished the year with 40 wins, which is thought to be the school record.
Number 2.
After their win over Middle Georgia in the district championship, Coach Gasquet's Raptors hit the road for the NJCAA National Championship Tournament in Minnesota.
I believe that. I believe that. I believe that we. I believe that we. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win.
Their journey to nationals wasn't an easy one. Their flight was delayed and delayed again. A tired Raptors team arrived in Minnesota, and fans back home gathered to cheer on Coach G's team. And they weren't disappointed. The 5th-seeded Raptors upset number 4 seed Anoka Ramsey in the first round, 84-77. Joe Martin led the way with 31 points.
I knew what Jocelyn could do from day one. And I told her before the game, nobody can stop you. You just need to go out there and play your game. And that's what she did. Once she plays her game, nobody can stop her.
And Jamila Thali put in a heroic performance, playing despite being ill.
She had 11 assists. 11 assists and I think 13 rebounds. So, you can't ask for anything, and still 8 points with all of that.
And hit her foul shots
and hit her foul shots down the stretch. So, she did what she needed to do, and I'm really proud of her.
That win set up a round 2 matchup against number 1 seed and defending national champion, the Rock Valley Golden Eagles. The Raptors were beset by illness, a short bench, and foul trouble, but displayed amazing courage and resolve even after falling way behind early. There was no quit in this team as they fought back to within 6 in the second half, only to eventually fall 72-60. They lost another heartbreaker in the third round to number 3 seed Roxbury Community College. But again, they played with heart, fighting through foul trouble and lingering illness to hold a lead with just 10 minutes to go before finally falling 65-54. But the losses in the Nationals should take nothing away from what this team achieved.
I feel very accomplished and proud of my team because we're district champs, we're regional champs, and we placed number 5, so I'd rather be here than not here at all.
I am still proud of the team, though. I think we did a pretty good job overall, overcoming little things that we lost throughout the season, key players, so I think we did a good job with that.
I'm proud of what the team accomplished because we came in here with everyone saying that we couldn't do this and we couldn't do that, and honestly, I think we shut them up with the first win by knocking out number 4. So I think I feel accomplished. We came a long way. We took care of business when we need to take care of business to get here, and being in 5th place is better than being at home watching.
And now for the moment we've been building to all show long, the top moment of the year for Montgomery College sports.
Number 1.
And the clear choice is the men's soccer team and their incredible run to the national championship finals, which ended on a controversial goal scored by Herkimer late in the second overtime of the national championship game. Shortly after the team returned home, I had the pleasure of talking to head coach Pedro Braz about his team's historic season. We want to welcome in head coach Pedro Braz. All right, what was the feeling like knowing that your MC men's soccer team was the first MC men's team to advance to the national championship since 1988?
To be honest, there was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of pressure knowing that, and then just representing, like you said, since '88, so representing the alums in between that came before us. So representing them, making them proud, meant a lot to me, meant a lot to the coaching staff, and meant a lot to these players. So that's what we try to represent, the MC and then the MC community. So hopefully they are proud of us.
All right, now let's go to the Nationals. In the opener, you knocked off Ocean 5-1. Now, who led the way in that game?
To be honest with you, it wasn't any players or any coaches. It was the weather. Number one, I got to tip my hats off to Ocean because they got hit pretty hard with Hurricane Sandy. And for them to be there and still compete at that high level, it's just a phenomenal. And again, all the prayers and support to the family in the New Jersey area. But Ocean came out strong. They scored in the first 23 seconds. So granted, the weather had an impact again because it was 20 degrees. My team and MC, we wasn't used to 20-degree weather. So they scored and we went to halftime 1-0. We got a little warm. Then we went inside, actually, at halftime, put our jackets on, got a little warm, regrouped, and then the men, I call them the men now, because when we first started, they were boys, and we kind of trying to figure each other out, but they became men. And that second half, we came out, and we did what we had to do. And again, it was a team collective victory. It was 5 different scorers, and we combined it and connected at the right time.
All right, second round, Suffolk. Little tougher game. Came out on top 3-2. How'd you pull that one out?
That one was tougher. Suffolk was number 3 in the country at that time, and it was well-deserved for them to be ranked that high. They were a good team. They were very organized in the back. That game was more tactics. We had to break down their games in their style so that we could compete at that high level. We were not as ranked as high, so we were the underdogs there. If I had to isolate any player at that time, was Samir, the sophomore, the forward. To be honest with you, in preseason, he was on the bubble. He was in the bubble of making the team or not, not because of his athletic ability, but just his attitude from the beginning. So I remember pulling him out and telling him, you're very close to not making this team, or you're very close to making it. So it's really going to come down to you. And to be honest, if I had a player of the tournament, would be him. He changed his attitude, he changed his way, and he became the person that we needed him to be.
All right, let's go to the finals now. The first time in MC men's soccer history that the school has made the national finals. Take us there. What was happening? What was it like? What did it feel like?
It was an experience that I'll always remember for the rest of my life. And that's what I told these student athletes. I told them, regardless, I will be coaching for the rest of my life. But for them, it really came down to them because this experience may never happen to them ever again. So, and I remember we sat down, we had a team meeting before that game, and there was a lot of emotions running, and people we would kind of sit down and let everyone talk. And one story that I can isolate, which he might not like, but it's one of my assistant coaches, Elvado Neto. He came here and he was a player here, so he knew how much that meant to him and his family in this community. And I remember when we beat Suffolk 3-2, he steps out and he calls his mother, and yes, tears were coming down. And again, this is a man now that been here, that was a player that didn't make it to that national tournament. So there was a lot of emotions. It felt good. It felt right. And granted, we were cut short at the end there in double overtime, and they scored the last 4 minutes. But overall, I thought the team did well. They were kind of together. We peaked at the right time, and that's what's more important.
Well, that was a tough loss. Double overtime, 1-0. Bitter pill. I'm sure you're hurting. The players are still hurting. But look at what you guys accomplished this year. Maryland JUCO champions for the first time in school history, Region 20 champions, second in the country, and several players made All-Maryland JUCO: Kevin Andino, Serene Babagay, Mohamed Olari, and Emmanuel Sama. You had 3 make the All-Tournament team, the All-National Tournament team: Kevin Andino, Samir Diarra, and Brandon McCoy. And then you just told me before we went on air that Kevin made first-team All-American, Kevin Andino. And you're Maryland JUCO Coach of the Year. I mean, what a season and what a foundation for the future.
And that's what we try to leave. It's that foundation. It's getting something started, planting the seeds, so then we can make something grow. And that's from the beginning. I told these guys, and I told them from the beginning, we have to leave this legacy. We have to leave something here that people can remember you for the rest of their lives. And if it's, and be honest, my main objective was, when you first interviewed me, it was the academic side. And obviously the grades hasn't come out yet, but that's what we're here for, and especially junior college. We're here to further their academic career, and if they do well on the field, then fair enough, and that's a bonus. So again, all those awards and that coaching staff of the year stuff, to be honest with you, without my coaching staff, I would not receive that coaching Coach of the Year. They just did a phenomenal job, and if I could add them, it's Javad Shore, Trey Livingston, and Alvaro Neto. Without them, there's no Coach of the Year, there's no region champs, there's none of that. So I got to tip my hat off to these men that did a really, really great job.
So what a year it was in sports here at MC. Unexpected success, regional titles, district championships, and national championship appearances. Not bad for the brand new Raptors maiden season. And it's been our privilege here on the Raptor Report to introduce you to the hard-working student athletes, coaches, and staff who represent MC and participate in NJCAA sports. And the great thing is, we're just a little over a month away from a whole new year in sports here. Tryouts are underway for fall sports, and soon the games will begin again. I can't wait to see what happens in 2013 and 14. And that's all the time we have for this edition of the Raptor Report. Be sure to follow MCTV on Twitter at twitter.com/MCTV10 and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Montgomery College TV. And be sure to check out the newly revamped Raptors Twitter feed at twitter.com/MC_Raptors. Episodes of the Raptor Report and archived MCTV sports broadcasts are also available on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Montgomery College. Lots of ways to find out about upcoming games, watch past games, or keep in touch with the latest MC sports news. We'll leave you now with some more of the best highlights from the year in sports at MC. Join us back here next month for the Fall Sports Preview. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.